In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this beautiful small cabin in Autostrek. Let's jump right in. I'm using metric, but you can switch to imperial measurements if you prefer. First, open the build generator. I recommend turning on the animated timeline because it lets us scrub through the entire build process and quickly find any part of the model. The timeline is also required if you want to create simple PDF plans. Next, choose a size. For this build, I select Custom, then type in the length and width of the cabin. Now I make sure the center to center spacing I want is selected. For the floor, I'm using the preset dimension 48 by 198 mm. You can use any size you want. Just type your measurements into the fields and click Set. I enable the insulation option because I want a structure that can be insulated. For the subfloor, I'll keep the default settings, but you can adjust those dimensions as well. Now it's time for the wall options. Note that wall height is the height of the interior walls. I'll adjust it slightly. For wall dimensions, studs, bottom plate, and top plates, I'm using a custom size. Double top plates are enabled by default, and I keep that on. I also enable insulation, then add wall battens and turn on wall siding. Next, let's move to the roof section. I want a gable roof for this build. For rafters and roof structure, I keep the defaults because I'm planning to use prefabricated roof trusses. I'll leave fascia boards, bargeboards, and roof sheathing at the default settings as well. I want a small loft, so I go with a steep roof angle, and I tweak the overhang a bit. Now I enable flashing gutters and counter battens. I set the counter batten eve trim to 100. This mostly helps position the flashing correctly relative to the gutters. With steep roof angles, you often need a higher value here. Then I enable tile battens and keep the default outer bargeboard dimension. Finally, I turn on Show Roof Tiles, select Wave, choose a tile thickness, set side gap to 0, and leave stagger rows as is. Now I just hit Generate, and the cabin is ready for fine-tuning, plus windows and doors. I'll take a quick look around to make sure everything looks right. The bargeboards need a little height and length adjustment, which is easy to do with the live controls. We can also open the group menu and quickly turn off bargeboards to inspect the flashing. And this looks solid. You can see the battens are pulled back slightly at the eave to keep the flashing placement correct. With steep roof angles, the gutter hooks usually need a quick adjustment too. Just use the Move tool, press the up arrow key, and then drag to adjust. The up arrow locks movement to the vertical axis, so you don't accidentally shift the hooks sideways. Now I'll adjust the gutter downpipe. This is easier in orthographic view. Then I fine-tune using the slider. I'll scrub through the timeline to check the build sequence. There's a small bug where the gutter hooks stay visible the whole time, but it's not a big deal. Now let's add some windows and doors using the opening framer. Once it's activated, the model switches to an orthographic view automatically, which makes placement much easier. From here, I choose a view and use the purple frame to place windows and doors. You can orbit with the middle mouse button if you want, but you'll need to be in one of the 6 standard views for placement to work properly. Use the view menu in the top right, or if you just want to straighten the model again after orbiting, double-click anywhere outside the building. I want a sliding patio door, so I select that preset. I can move it freely, or hold Shift to show a center guideline, which the purple overlay will snap to. Then I use the drag handle in the corner to resize it, and click Set when it looks right. Next, I add windows from the presets. There's also a red helper line that makes it easy to align openings around the building. You can type in a height value to raise or lower the opening, and windows and doors will snap to the line for quick positioning. You can also use the input fields to control the distance from the edge. I also want a loft window. It doesn't cut one of the battens perfectly, but that's fine. I can delete that batten for now and add a correctly sized one later if needed. And remember, opening framer doesn't just cut a hole, it also builds the framing around it, including studs, cripple studs, headers, and more. Large windows and doors may need extra side studs. Just use the Move tool, hold Shift, and drag a stud to copy it. You can also right-click a stud to duplicate it. Then click a Move point and click a Target point to align it cleanly. Now it's looking really good, but I want a few more windows and an entrance door. So I jump back into Opening Framer and place them where I want. Here's a helpful tip. You can click on any existing window to switch the opening guide back to a window preset if you were previously placing a door. Next, I want to use AI Render to create a nice photo of the cabin. Before rendering, I use the color tools to give the windows a solid color. That helps prevent the AI from seeing through transparent glass and inventing weird details, like unwanted grids or patterns in the windows. At this point, the cabin is genuinely ready to build in real life. All the cut lists and the bill of materials are generated automatically. You'll still need to enter supplier prices, of course, but the good news is you only have to do that once. You can even add multiple suppliers to compare prices. Let's take a look. The cut list can get long, but it's well organized. Now let's check the bill of materials. I've already entered prices for some lumber, but you'll notice a few missing items. That's normal, because many entries are offcuts or smaller parts that come from standard dimensions. If you ever see a dimension that looks strange, just hover over it to see what it really is. For example, wall siding can create small pieces up near the ridge. Those can often be merged into the main siding dimension. In my case, that's 19 by 120 mm, which is a common size where I live. Merged items can always be unmerged if you need to. Overall, the bill of materials gives you a strong estimate of the real cost, and you can even add windows and doors and switch currency if needed. When you're done, you can generate HTML documents for printing or export to PDF. Now let's look at AI render. First, I notice the axis lines are visible, so I turn those off before proceeding. AI render also includes a simple drawing tool. You can sketch on the canvas to guide where you want things like lawn, hedges, and trees. It's not perfect, but with a good prompt and a quick sketch, you can get solid results. You can also render without drawing anything and let the AI decide, but we want to make sure it doesn't change the cabin's geometry, so I stick close to the preset prompt as a guideline. As you can see, the results are really good, just not always 100% perfect. If you're picky, you might need a few tries and small prompt tweaks. I ran a couple of tests, and these are the results. And of course, you can always use Autostrek's manual building tools to create things like patios, stairs, and foundations. You can also build models completely from scratch, but that's outside the scope of this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and check out the Autostrek YouTube channel for more videos.